In previous video, we have been seeing that intersect, union and all, union, like to have, uh, like, sorry, okay. For example, I just want to combine them together. We can have a union like this. In case I don't want this duplicate values, okay, this product line, duplicate product line should not be appear here. Then what we can do? We can use here one wrapper called as a dis- um distinct. I think spelling is correct. Let's see. Um, I think spelling is wrong. Yeah. Okay, distinct wrapper I will use to wrap it over it. In the sense, is there any duplicate values are there, those duplicate values will be taken out. Okay, in a distinct, what will happen? Okay, any duplicate value if you have, okay, duplicate value if you have, those duplicates will be taken out. Okay, if there is a unique values, only unique values will be retained. Okay, that's the one function. The second thing, the main thing I wanted to discuss in this video was the variable creation. In a previous video also, somewhere we have been, not in previous, like I think somewhere in one of the video I have been shown that how to create a variable also. Here we'll discuss in detail like how this helpful. Just I will create one new measure here. I just wanted to create one measure to identify whether this particular data, this sales data, has an outlier in the sales column or not. Okay, we know that if you have gone through the statistics playlist, you will know that what you mean by outlier means if some values which are too far away from the center value, then we call it as a outlier. So I just wanted to know that the status of the outlier is there or not. I just create a new measure here. For new measure, we'll give the name as a outlier. Okay, I just given a name. What I will do, I will create some more lines of code. So shift, keep on enter, shift enter, so that will create some outline. The outlier we are going to calculate, but before that, for the calculation of outlier, we need a quartile 1 and quartile 3, right? For that, we say variable quartile 1 is equal to, we have a percentile formula here. Percentile inclusive means including center point also. I say percentile inclusive. I need a sales column, on the basis of sales column, comma, the quartile 1 means the first quartile will be having a value 0.25, that is a percentage, right? 25 percentage. So 0.25, that's the one quartile over. The second line, variable, don't enter, just you have to press down arrow key to go to second line. Quartile 3 I need, equal to, again the same formula it is. Okay, percentile formula only, but we are changing this one percentile as a 75%. So quartile 3 will get, I create one more variable called as the interquartile range. That's nothing but quartile 1 which we calculated minus quartile 3, sorry, quartile 3 minus quartile 1. Okay, quartile 3 minus quartile 1 we have to do to calculate this interquartile range. So we calculate interquartile range by using these three values. We can calculate the upper side boundary and lower side boundary. Okay, if you are not knowing this concept, you can refer the this one, uh, statistics playlist. Okay, there we discussed in detail what you mean by outlier and how to calculate everything using excel also. In python also we discussed in detail. I say upper bound ub, upper bound equal to, upper bound calculation will be quartile 3 this one calculated quartile 3 plus 1.5 multiplied by interquartile range. I just want to avoid this board mass, so I kept it in a this one. Similarly, I will create one more variable. Okay, that is called as the lower bound. Lower bound will be minus quartile 1. Okay, quartile 1 minus 1.5 times of the interquartile range. These are the formula we have. To check that whether I have a upper bound or lower bound, like it is out of the boundary or not, to check that one we need a maximum value and a minimum sales value in our data. So as a variable, max underscore sale is equal to, we use a max formula. In max formula, what we have to use? We have to use a sales data, right? So we select a sales data, the maximum sales it will give. The similarly, I need to have a minimum sales. Just copy paste instead of wasting a time writing again and again. I just say here minimum sale. We use a minimum formula instead of maximum formula. So minimum sales, maximum sales, everything is calculated. Now I would like to write down so that I will use a return function. What to be written? I just want to return uh, total sales happened, right? Sorry, I would like to return that in case upper bound value is higher, means if it is say maximum sales is more than upper bound, then there is an outlier. Okay. Similarly, if minimum sales is lesser than the lower bound is there, then also we call there is a outlier. So the out maximum value should be, if it is more than, maximum value is more than this one, we have to call it as a outlier. So I will use the if condition. Okay. And there is no one logic, there are two logic. Any of them, one of them is true, then I need to write it as a there is a outlier. So I use a or because any one to be satisfied. The first logic will be my maximum sale which I calculated. If it is more than, is it more than upper bound? I just check. Okay. Is it more than upper bound? Comma. That's the first thing. Like in case maximum sales is more than upper bound, then we call it as a outlier is there. Or my minimum sale which I calculated, if it is less than lower bound also we call it as a there is a outlier, means minimum also less than this one also we call it as a outlier is there. Close the bracket, that complete my logical things. Comma, in case any of them is present, then what to be written? I just want to write it in a text, so double quote. I just say write yes, outlier is there. Okay, just I'm writing like this. Otherwise I would like to say no outliers. Okay, close the bracket so that it will complete my if function, right? So in case all this calculation it will be done, then it will check like is that logic is true or false, then according to that logic it will give the thing. Okay, now I have been entered, it created outlier function here. What I will do, I just select that outlier function. Okay, it's not giving anything, I just take a card. So it says yes, outlier is there because there is a outlier present in my data. Because of that it shows that there is a outlier. Okay, so like this, like the my objective was to show you that when we have a more number of calculations, okay, there are few calculations we have, so many calculations we have, then what we can do, we can create these individual calculations into the variables, then we can use those variables into the final result by using return function. Okay, this is a one of the way, like most of the time we use, like when we have a lengthier expressions, we break down into the variables and we join them variables together to get the final output. Okay, this is all about variables and the distinct function. uh, in the DAX.